that did not happen to the rest of everyone else. So, Kit, you have the recap if you remember.
Those are my work notes.
I
Scrolling
barely
to the
remember.
bottom.
I just know I played chauffeur and delivery service.
And then after you
Oh.
left Reaper, another thing had happened to Zeroji specifically.
Is it backlash for something that he did while in a different town?
Yeah, if he remembers what happened, sure.
I remember that part, but I don't know if this is last session or the session before. Ryu wants to bang Nina but can't because he's a brood. Is that last session or the one before?
Oh, I love your notes. I mean, sure, we can go with that.
Last
That did happen
session.
last session.
All right. Therefore, he wants to bring back God so he can die and fuck with like 5 U's. Nina supports this so that he can take her to the Bone Zone.
Checks out.
Falu is accounting for Ryu's faction because Falu knows that Ryu wants to go to the Bone Zone. T-Pose. Rogue faction amongst the brews. We spoke to Ryu for a year. Odin? OJ Oin controls time. There were timey-wimey shenanigans, per my notes. We did a shit ton of shopping. Then Fen and I fucked off to Mithrandoon to throw the enemy off the trail. Didn't work because I got shot. We saw a mirror, and in there we saw an old figure. He knew we were listening in, talking to this chick named Anna, who said that the testing with the professor was fine, and that she can rival her original, presumably to be Aether. Maybe not, but it would make sense. We're the new target, so that's cool. And then they said we got 1 week, and then she fucked off. So we pissed off King to Ark. That's neat. And then I got shot, and we spell forged to look inside my body.
Yeah, that last bit I was not here for.
So to explain it in more detail, basically Zeroji had just gotten through with a quote-unquote harsh training session with the paladin woman that Xavier and Zeroji train with.
I was in the bath.
So he was obviously, just taking a bath, nursing his wounds, when he noticed a glint through the one window into his bathhouse. And that glint was very quickly followed up by a loud cracking sound, and a hole puncturing through both the glass and Zeroji's chest in very short order.
The usual.
Zeroji
you bathe in
was
darkness.
bleeding out into his bath by the time Xavier got there, wondering what was up, why his brother was taking so long, or anything like that, whatever the excuse could have been. Zeroji was pretty much on the brink before Xavier pumped basically all of his HP's worth of lay on hands into Zeroji to try to catch him, and succeeded in the nick of time.
For some
feel
reason,
like
I
I'm gonna
also
have to
wrote down
outshoot a gun.
something about the protective barrier too. After that,
So much for a protective barrier.
You do notice that, yes, this also happened. The reason for the loud crack was because the barrier itself broke in that portion of the area. And the next day, Fen, you are actually here for this now too. Both Nina and Mina were frantically wondering why the barrier had fallen or collapsed. Quickly preceded by all of the proceedings that Zeroji and Xavier had then told them about, and the fact that there is technology that can break through the barrier that basically 2 archmages helped to erect around the castle of Arkenton. So there might be issues, but that's where you guys basically left off.
Yeah, you said a wreck.
You know, it is a word in the English language that can be used outside of perverted connotations.
Yes, it can. And it's always funny whenever it is.
What are those people that companies hire to, like hackers that they hire to test the flaws in their security? It's like black hat hackers or white hat?
No, white hat.
Yeah, it's basically Zerochi just got one of those for the entire city for free.
Yeah, in the worst of
Look
ways.
Look at it in a positive light.
Now we know it needs to be stronger. Just like Zeroji does.
Oh
And
no,
that's where
I'm
you
not
hear
supposed
Mina
to be
say,
strong.
it's where you hear Mina say, the barrier can't be any stronger. That's as strong as it's got.
What if you put 2 of them instead of just 1?
I don't think it was an issue with the barriers. I think it was an issue with what was used to nullify them.
I've heard of a legendary magical item called flex tape.
Unfortunately, I have not heard of such a thing, and I feel like I am more versed in magical items than you are, Zeroji.
It was I heard it called down through a hole in the sky during our fight.
Going to assume that those are the whispers of a man who is on the brink of death after being shot with something.
Somebody was shot?
I didn't do it.
It looked like a hole of something had pierced him through.
As to the residual of, because you guys were trying to look for bullety stuff that was left within Zeroji, and upon completing your Spellforge, there you have found that there is no actual bullet either in Zeroji or through the tub or anything like that. Seems like there is no evidence left behind of it.
Good news, I'm not poisoned.
Did we confirm that? Did we confirm that?
I mean, there's
He
nothing
doesn't seem to
left
be
in
dying
my
from any
body.
sort of lead poisoning. There's no swelling around the wound.
Here, drink this.
It was actually an extremely clean wound. Our resident poisoner just says, "Here, drink this." Uh-oh.
Is this one of your bootlegs?
No. This is totally above board.
I assume that our spells search for any physical remains, not necessarily like things like poison.
I've just got headcanon in my head now of this where Fen offers everyone in the party a drink all the time, but no one ever accepts it because they all think it's always just going to be poisoned with something he wants to test on them, when in fact it's just like water.
Oh no, that was definitely going to be poison, but then we would know for sure that he was poisoned.
Well, because he would have been poisoned.
Exactly. Now we know he is poisoned. Someone might want to fix that.
It's not going to be Fen because he's backing away now.
He gives poison, he doesn't fix poison.
Carrying around antidotes is for cowards.
But I
Everybody
do have
has
my
their
injection
specialties.
arrows. I can
You do.
heal now. I do
You
have
did make those with Liz, I think, right?
Yes. As long as I don't get them mixed up with the ones that are filled with poison.
Yeah, I'm not drinking anything you give me while I'm conscious.
Understandable.
I'm not an idiot.
I gotta get you guys while you're asleep or unconscious.
I think I'm gonna make sure to cast alarm every night now.
Already do.
But do you make sure that Fen is one of the targets that can't enter the zone?
Not before.
This is my way to make sure that they beef up security.
I don't think there is any way that they could have beefed up security against this, if that's what you're talking about.
No, just in general. That, I don't think there was anything that we or, well, even you could do in this case, because it went through the barrier.
It's rather concerning to know that someone has the capabilities of shattering the barrier, apparently with whatever caused like a centimeter thick hole in your chest.
Now, Zeroji, do you think this is the backlash from that one thing?
Backlash.
The
to
timeline
be.
definitely dictates it.
This is more so me testing the waters of like talking to the group about it.
I thought we mentioned that we looked at King to Arc.
You told me about it right after I killed you after you got shot. I don't think you've told the group yet.
Oh,
And I'm not bringing it up because it's something you have to bring up because you fucking did it.
I think your brother's pissed at you, Zeroji.
we did some investigating on King to Arc due to his interactions with Aether, and it turns out that he knew it was
Wait,
he knew he was being watched.
did you just try to scry the world's most powerful psionic?
We didn't
No.
try to. We successfully did so.
I
Depending
want
on your
If you
definition of
succeeded,
success.
it's because he let you.
I want it noted he's dropping we a lot. I was just the ride. I had no part in that.
And he sent an assassin named Anna to
Probably do what just happened.
To
yes.
kill you, yes.
I feel like if she had wanted you to die, you would have died there.
He almost did. But I think you still have a point.
I don't remember how much damage I actually took from it.
Oh, you want me to roll it?
Yeah.
If,
Yes, actually I do.
If this Anna was trying to be thorough, I'm sure she would have just shot twice.
Yeah, this might have just been a warning.
Like 5 billion dice just rolled on my screen because someone was rolling dice in here constantly.
I was trying to roll out the ones. I ended up rolling out 3 20s.
I was gonna say, you rolled out 3 20s. And Fen rolled out the 1.
Yeah, that was me just making sure everything was connected as I usually do.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's a good idea. I should make sure everything's connected.
That's funny.
Nice start.
Private.
Oh, well, I don't know why it's a private GM roll. 1 second.
Spicy.
So
I am pretty sure any thought of sneaking into Endress is now over.
yeah, that's
They definitely
not
know
gonna
what
happen
we
now.
look like now, or at least one of us.
they probably know what 2 of us look like. Actually, considering Aether was working with them, they probably know what all 4 of us look like.
Given that she was probably watching you before she shot you and waiting for an opportunity and knows that we were training together, she probably knows what I look like.
Can we be scried here? In the castle?
We weren't able to be before the barrier went down. Can't speak for that effectiveness now.
You're saying yes. But if we ever decide to leave the castle or leave to do anything anywhere, we can always be scried.
Correct. Assuming that we're in a scrying zone. What's the spell that negates scrying?
Assuming that they believe you're important enough to continue scrying.
Counter
Probably depends on
scry.
if we keep interfering with their plans.
With the tools that they had Anna use, it seems like they were willing to put forward some serious resources into dealing with someone who was scrying him. Makes me think that unless that was the least of their resources, they did take it kind of seriously.
Might also just be an opportunity for them to test their technology.
Yeah, before you tried to scry him, did you remember how we got the intel on him before? How you probably could have gotten checked on him again the same way?
I didn't want to endanger my father.
Liz just face bombs. Did you forget everything in at the Swords of the Rift?
Oh, well, I forgot most of the Swords of the Rift, yeah.
Like that room with all the mirrors of different places where
What are
we
you
had
talking about?
originally.
I think we remember the tour, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I
you remember the
don't
tour.
remember. I thought we forgot most of what happened in the
No,
Rift.
the only things you forgot were the details of the contract and what was specifically needed for or what was specifically being kept secret on that contract.
Because we
You
had
remember the
used
tour
the
though.
we
Okay,
used
gotcha.
the mirror in Milo's room that showed the meeting between Aether and King D'Arc for our reason to go out to Yale or whatever.
Okay, well, we didn't need to endanger them either.
Speaking of,
From what I remember seeing on that tour, I think they're perfectly capable of handling themselves.
Yeah, I think so
It-
too.
it seems we do have a guest arriving later today from the Swords of the Rift.
Who might that be?
He says he goes by the name of Delis. Nina knows him, but she's off doing whatever at the moment. But yeah, he's the Swords of the Rift's resident mage tinkerer, I guess. I don't really know what his title is there.
Did we meet Dallas?
I think they talked about him, but I don't know if we actually met him.
I don't recall.
What do you want, Kit? I wasn't actually asking. I don't care. If you scratch me, I will suplex you.
So you're gonna take a
That-
video
that
of that
is-
because that would be kind of comical to watch.
I don't think he can
Watch
record
you
his animal
suplex.
abuse. I think that's a bad idea.
Watch yourself, Cat.
It has been a minute.
But we need to deal with this Anna person in some capacity.
Considering she shot you through this barrier and almost killed you, I think we might want to keep her distance for now.
To be fair, we thought she would be in a different city.
Did we?
Yes.
Well, apparently that assumption was wrong.
So they have some other way of finding us.
I mean, the most powerful scion has a different way to find people than just by, looking for them.
Based on what it sounded like, it wasn't the Scion, it was Anna. Because if I remember correctly, Zeroji said that while he was scrying them, she left. So he wasn't able to tell her any extra information unless it's something they knew already.
That's a possibility.
There's also
Did
ways to talk with magic at great distances.
did
That's
you
valid.
did you teleport straight back here from where you were when you scryed?
We didn't
Imagine if
teleport.
they were in Mithnadoon, they had to come back outside of the city to actually teleport. At least given how Fenn's wings have worked so far.
And
Don't
so a highly
remember-
visible way indication from where you were to where you are could have just tracked you the same way we were tracking Aether.
I remember discussing not taking a direct route, but I don't remember.
I don't control the flying.
Hey, I barely do too.
You control it. You just have to be outside. I just don't remember what you guys talked about for your discussing the flight. I wasn't on the itinerary, so to speak.
Pretty sure we flew up on the northern coast, kind of where the temple is. That's up there in the mountains.
Mhm.
And then flew to Mithridun. But I don't,
I do recall that, yes.
you know,
I think the way back was the more important part.
but
Yeah.
I don't remember on the way back. Would have probably done that. Ben would have enough sense to do that.
True.
That's
And we can
Oh,
always
yes.
greater invisibility.
At least half of you on that trip had some sense.
Hey, we were doing recon. That is a lot of sense.
I was just the driver.
Every time you say we, I just think of Ben being like, there's a lot of we's here.
We did this. We used magic. No, we did not.
We broke into a house and stole some valuables.
All right, now.
You did have to get that mirror.
Pretty sure we broke into a house and you broke some valuables.
I didn't break it. We didn't break it either.
True.
Liz just looks over to Xavier. It's like, we can't let them out of our sight ever again.
I'm cursed. I'm gonna lose my powers. This is over. It's over.
Regardless as to the how we got here, the problem is now we are here.
Kit says with a shit-eating grin.
You could hear it.
Zoroji has a more serious face, but I don't know about Kit.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, if Dolus is coming, we could maybe he knows something. Who knows? They have some crazy stuff going on at the Swords of the Rift, so
Did he mention why he was coming?
Yeah, he's looking to install a portal here in Arkenton. Well, a device for portaling here to Arkenton.
From
Makes it
Riftel?
easier.
That
Yes.
sounds incredibly convenient.
That is
and
very convenient for the
helpful.
plot. I mean, for the lot of us.
Is that going to be a Swords of the Rift specific for their company, or is it going to be like an open source platform for teleportation?
Public.
That one.
I think based on the details, it's pretty much specific to Swords of the Rift for now until they open up more enterprising avenues there.
I see.
Don't
So
teleportation
it'll-
circles usually take a year to set up?
Wow. It's like
He was talking about some things that were required for it, but we've already gathered all of that stuff. And no, this is like a different detail. This is, if I had to say, I'd almost say it's almost more on Endress's level of tech, but it's still basically as if we're opening a magic circle portal. Yes,
Interesting. Is it safe?
it's been so far for all of the people that have used it at Swords of the Rift.
Interesting.
I think the only side effect that they complain about so far is they always smell something odd on the other side of the portal. Dallas hasn't really hashed out that kink, so he said, but it's something they're working on, I guess.
I guess a weird smell is not really high up on the priority list to fix for bugs.
But this is actually like a twofold operation. So while visiting with the Arkenton Castle is a perfunctory portion of Dallas's visit, his real goal is actually to work with the shadows to get the. I think you actually remember this place, the old place where you fought the Bone Devil, set up as a sort of hub.
I remember half the fight.
Yeah, we remember. It was like it was but a couple weeks ago or something.
It's over a year ago.
I'm aware of that.
So
I don't
is he setting
usually
that up as
inform
a-
you of someone else's details in such high detail, so to speak, but yeah, I figured for this case it would actually be in line with stuff that you guys need to potentially do anyways, so maybe you guys should talk to Dallas next.
Okay.
Unless you do have other things that you need to do. I do know you're an adventuring group, and you might have other things besides being hunted by an assassin sent from Endris, so there's always that.
Well, I think the next thing we were looking for was a way to get into Endris, but a certain somebody seems to have kind of made that much more difficult. She says as she looks at Zeroji.
I think at this point we are no longer equipped enough to enter Endris with the knowledge they have about us now.
Yeah, we're
This
gonna
is
have
an
to come up with a different
opportunity.
way. An opportunity for what?
I'm sure that Anna will make an offer.
An offer to shoot
Sure.
you again?
No, if she'd wanted to kill me, she would have shot again, right? So they want something.
I don't want you to scry them anymore.
Hear me out. We use Kit as bait.
Zeroji.
Sorry, Zeroji as bait.
Let me check my spells and see if that's doable.
Did you roll your divinations? Is that 13 and 14?
Yeah, kind of shit. Like, those are some of the worst divinations that you can get.
I feel like 10 and 11 would be more, or like 9 and 10 would be the more worse ones. "13 and 14 is still enough to seal pretty much successful hits if you give those to Fen, for sure, and most of the other people of your party.
Absolutely. I got a plus 10.
Yeah, I was actually kind of annoyed about that before. I remember you could only literally miss someone on like a natural 4 or lower.
Yeah, it's getting worse too. For you.
That's fine.
Scrying.
I'm sure he'll figure something out.
Means
Also,
more
you know.
magic items are going to be on people we're fighting.
Super advantage.
Super advantage is a thing.
It does
Damn
help.
your 3 rolls.
Soon I'll be able to make that super duper advantage.
So, if we're making Zeroji bait, what are we hoping to accomplish with that?
Capture / kill Annie.
Anna, not Annie. We like Annie.
And oh. Whoops.
First, we hear out what Anna has to say, and then capture and or kill.
What makes you so sure that Anna has anything to say?
Mainly that I'm breathing.
still think it was just a warning.
Be one hell of a warning.
Have any of you tried to shoot through glass?
No.
It makes the trajectory a little bit difficult. Multiply that probably tenfold by shooting through a barrier like that. It could have been a kill shot.
Does fireball go through glass? Okay. Well, I was wondering if it just originates at the points that I'm pointing at, or if it goes from my finger to where I'm pointing.
It goes from your finger to where you're pointing.
Yes, that is
The
what
idea
I'm
of a just spontaneous explosion sounds incredibly more terrifying than...
Yeah, it wouldn't be called a fireball at that point. It would probably just be called spontaneous explosion.
Yeah, the big thing about the trying to capture her is, do we even know where she is? If she's even around here anymore, or if she's gone back to Endress?
Almost, Zeroji. Try scrying on her.
Don't.
I mean, if
You
she's
do know
not
what
an
she looks like.
Endress, yeah, we can try a scry on her. Do you have a mirror that you don't mind maybe breaking? Although I doubt it would break because it's just her, not the King to Arc.
Yeah, I think we have a warehouse of them somewhere.
Cool. Let's take a look.
She says that and just like hands you a silver mirror.
Alright. Spell. I don't think I actually have to... Is this my only 5th level spell slot? Whip! DC 18 Wisdom save from Anna. I think. Let's see. The target. I've met the target. So no changes to save modifier. Connection. Likeness. So DC 20.
Oh, no, you succeed.
Huh?
Oh no, you succeed. You're scrying her.
Oh, okay, that bad?
My roll was yes, no matter what her plus was.
Well, it's a -2.
So it would have been what, instead of wisdom DC 18, it would have been wisdom DC 16?
Oh, no, her roll would be -2.
So it would be wisdom DC 20.
Technically, or -2 to whatever her roll was. However you want to look
I
at
rolled a
it.
5.
Okay.
I think you're good.
I mean, if you rolled a 5 and she passed
Like,
it,
my
I'd just be
dice-
like,
My dice only is a 5, so
I'd
Might
say
as
if you rolled
well
a 5 and
die.
she passed it, I would have been happier her not getting seen.
alright, what's she up to right now?
She seems to be out in the plains somewhere. You can't really tell exactly where. And she's just sitting there, eyes closed, but just sitting there.
Does she have the weapon she shot me with?
She does not. In fact, as you're looking around her area, from what you can see from the perspective, you don't see anything that could have resembled the weapon she could have used. In fact, what she carries on her person for weapons is actually 2 shorter sheaths, which seem to both hold short swords in them.
Do the planes look like they're from around Arkenton? Or do they look like the planes around Mythnadoon?
They look like they're from around Arkenton. You've been around Arkenton enough to know that offhand.
Okay, so it's not that she went to the wrong town and there's just another assassin that wants my ass for some reason. Because that would be a twist.
An inconvenient coincidence.
Let me just back up and say that this isn't my fault.
And then, as you're scrying on her and spying on her for longer, you just hear some mumbling coming from her, and as you focus your scry to basically be able to hear what she's mumbling, you hear words basically on repeat, almost sounding robotic. And she says, "Remember my training. Remember my training. Remember my training." And she just keeps that on repeat. And then she puts her hand behind her back, and as if she was going to like draw a weapon from her back, instead of actually drawing a weapon, you see a form of some very foreign looking object just begin to appear. And it seems like this form is being made purely from energy. And as she draws it out in full, you see. Give me an insight roll.
17.
So you're not too experienced with guns. In fact, the guns that you know of in this world are very mundane as it is. They are not necessarily things that would be on the level of what she just drew, but you have enough of a concept to know that there is a barrel that has to propel something outward from it. And to the best of your knowledge, this thing that she just formed from pure energy seems to resemble something that could be a gun.
Liz, does that look like a gun to you? Being an artificer and all?
Liz, you also need to give me an insight check.
Insight.
Holy fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, that checks out. She's
so
built 3 of these.
You're not level 20 anymore.
You don't know what kind of gun it is or what its purpose is, but from just a glance at it, you can by far tell that this thing, it is, 1, a gun, and 2, its purpose definitely seems like to be a very extremely long distance weapon.
Yeah, that looks like some kind of long range gun.
Huh. Like how long range?
Let's start.
You know the question he's actually asking.
Just seeing.
Is there a
You
chance
hear
this is
her.
the gun
You hear
that
her
fires?
continue chanting that mantra, basically. Remember my training. Remember my training. And she sets up on the ground and basically has the gun propped against her right shoulder, and she seems to be looking through the device's optical lens, or in this case, it's basically a scope.
I'd like to move myself between Xavier and any open windows in the room.
Gonna hit the deck.
she, Liz, are you still watching?
Yeah.
She basically cocks back on the part that would load a bullet into it, if it actually did that, and then the mantra stops and the gun fades away, and then you hear a light snoring coming from her, as it seems she has fallen asleep.
Is there a chance that either Mina and or Nina know where this particular area is? I'll say no.
Nina is not there. Mina is looking at it in amazement and going, "She doesn't even look like she's 12.
Did she just fall asleep?
It does look like that, doesn't it?"
Might be the best time to go and find her, because yeah. Zeroji, you said this looked like it was somewhere that might have been around here, right?
Yeah, it's definitely out in the plains.
It's definitely around this area, but I can't tell you where. We don't have... Huh. We don't have any rangers on the premises right now either to be able to track her better. Are any of you good trackers? Someone here might know better.
Off.
What was that?
Ben?
Off.
It sounded like it was. I'm not sure if that's cough or fuck off.
A light cough.
Fen, would you like to give a survival roll?
Yeah, sure. Would someone want to guarantee that?
Depends how good is your survival.
I think he's just
9.
wanting a help, like a help roll or something too.
Yeah, I can assist, but
That was more so meaning the portent. I have a +9.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I can give you a portent. Take the 13.
I'll give you a flash of genius too to get +6 to it.
So take a 19.
Yeah, 28.
So... She seems to be out in this general area right now.
the game is paused. I don't know if we can see.
Which general area?
Did you not see the dot move?
Oh, the dot?
Yeah, the little
the
red
dot.
dot. Yeah.
move.
Okay.
Wait, you're telling me she's shooting from here to here?
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily where she shot the first bullet from. She probably bailed the second the barrier broke.
That would be my guess. Is she took a shot. Was probably supposed to be a kill shot, but with the redirection from the barrier and maybe even the glass, could have arced it just a little bit to make it not so much so.
Yeah, it's still a pretty high power shot in order to break through a barrier and a window and still hit.
Yeah.
Mysteriously not leave any marks on the tub, right? Because was the tub fine, or was there a hole through the tub also? I can't remember.
There was a hole through the tub.
Okay.
And then into the earth, through the core, out the other side. Through the moon.
No, ballistics says that it only went so. No, it definitely ended somewhere. It went through all of the material of the tub, but stopped shortly after. After you basically testing with a stick, so to speak, just to try to find depth.
And if we step outside, we can be right there.
Yeah, if she's sleeping, it might be the best time to get the drop on her.
I think that might be accurate, yeah. So, I think all of us should go. All 4 of us.
Yeah, if we're going, we should all go.
Yeah.
Right. I guess I will leave you guys to that. I will get back to my duties as Archmage.
Oh, you don't want to come help? I can bring more people.
It's not
I think
that.
we can bring her back here. I'm sure they have some questions.
I don't feel comfortable attacking a 12-year-old.
Age means nothing when they want to kill you.
This may be true, but I would rather just not get myself involved in something like that right now. I wish you luck.
Don't want to talk to her. If
I'm
we bring her
saying
back.
I don't want to be involved with attacking a 12-year-old.
Interrogation, not attacking. Perfect. We're not attacking her, to be clear, guys.
Right.
I'm going to see myself out now. Oh, wait, this is my office. Get out of my office.
That is the plan. Let's go.
Go out the window.
It is currently closed. It doesn't have a real opening to it. It's one of those decorated stained glass window type deals.
This is what will happen if I go through the window.
Oh, that would be an angry Mina.
Yeah.
That would be. How fast do you want telekinesis to be cast on you?
Well, as soon as I'm outside.
And how fast do you want your head to not be bashed against the wall a couple times as punishment for breaking
Fair.
the stained glass window?
That's fair.
I feel it would only be within Mina's right to be a bit perturbed.
I mean, it was a very nice window. It was more so if it was an openable window. Don't
No,
really
in
want
this
to test
case,
the waters of breaking through a major's
most
office window.
most of the windows in Arkenton Castle, if they're not inside windows, are basically lined with stained glass of some decor.
Fair.
Well, if we're gonna do this, we should get going.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right.
You guys proceed to walk outside of Arkenton Castle. You still skirt to outside of where the barrier would be, just to be on the safe side. Not knowing if it's back up or fully functioning yet or anything like that. Just safe than sorry type of deal in this case. Plus habit at this point for how many times Fen has already teleported around.
Yeah, it's been a lot in a very short amount of time.
I think Fen's basically teleported literally every single day he could so far.
He does not look a gift
That
horse
is
in the
accurate.
mouth.
And today is no different, as everyone basically makes sure they're connected in some way to be able to then have Fen teleport them. And Fen does indeed do so. The golden wings sprout, and you guys all become golden blurs across the sky. And in a very quick moment, your golden blurs subside on the ground, and you see what looks to be kind of like shock that is very quickly overwritten with a blank face as a sniper rifle is pointed right at Zeroji. And Anna is looking at all of you, but more so still staying super focused on Zeroji. And all you just hear the words, "Target acquired."
Well, this is how Zeroji dies. That is wonderful.
Who's got the high perceptions among the group? I think it's still Fen and Liz, right?
Yep.
And while you have heard the words kind of loudly of target acquired, you hear the same mantra again, just being repeated in a mumble, and she's still just saying, "Remember my training, remember my training, remember my training." I need all of you to give me perception checks.
I'm bad at these.
You could take your other roll.
That doesn't help.
I instead of a perception check, use Sanctuary on Zeroji.
Sure, a lot.
What's Sanctuary do? Ward a creature within range against an attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets a ward creature must attack or harm spell must first make a wisdom saving throw on a failed save. Creature must choose a new target or lose the attacker spell.
Also, now that you're all looking closer, you see the gun formed. It does look like it's made purely of energy at this point. It's like a purplish, pinkish color to it, and it's just not pulsating, so to speak, but it's just... What's this? Oh, just another... Wrong one, man.
What are you going for? Railgun then?
No. It's hard to say unless people have actually like played the game where I'm getting the idea from. It's there was a mental line of weapons in DC Universe Online, so it was like basically weapons made of psychic energy. Basically, that's what's going on here. And in this case, those that are looking closer, which would basically be Fen and Liz again, for reasons.
I had no shot. I'm just trying to be more helpful.
You see that her arm and hand that would be what would be pulling the trigger are actually shaking right now as she's saying, "Remember my training. Remember my training."
I like that false life has me drink in order to increase my temporary HP.
Aren't you using a focus?
Well, I just mean the material components can be a small amount of alcohol or distilled spirits.
Yes, but you're using a focus, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
The flash.
It's just funny to me.
We land in, Zeroji sees us and just like, oh shit. Takes a hit from the flask.
starts drinking on
I'm
the
gonna
spot.
take shots.
I will stay alive.
Shots for shots.
Funny.
And it still seems like she hasn't attacked you yet, Zeroji.
I need to learn hold person.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful.
Be helpful in a lot of cases.
If she's not doing anything, I'm gonna detect magic on her.
I feel like V was just trying to talk there, but his voice cut out.
I was thinking of talking. I'm just trying to think of what to say.
Using detect magic on her, you don't see a spark of anything magical on her.
What about the gun?
The gun is not being detected as magic.
Interesting.
Is it being detected as anti-magic?
I don't think detect magic can detect psionic energy, so no.
Nah, probably.
Okay, you're shaking.
Affirmative.
What's going on?
They're pointing your gun at him.
It almost seems like her movements seem devoid of life as she attempts to try to regain a focus. And she needs to make a DC 15 wisdom save, which she does make, but when she shoots, it cracks the sanctuary apart, but still completely whiffs on Zeroji. You guys are welcome to take action if you so choose.
Completely whiffs. Was
She's
she aiming at me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh well, yeah. Otherwise,
I'm guessing she passed the wisdom check but missed the attack.
From what you can see, Fen, your perception shows that it seemed like she was purposefully aiming away, but she couldn't figure. She was trying to right that aim, and her arm shaking kept pushing it away again.
What?
You don't have to do this.
I must do this.
Are you sure you want to, though?
I must do this.
Is it because he told you to?
I must do this.
You look cool if you're invisible, Sroji.
Oh, invisibility is a good idea. We're good at that.
Toss not out there. You got these spells to make it where you can't be seen. But you know, it's up to you if you want to just stand there with someone pointing a gun at your ass.
We'll see if it helps.
You hear another kind of robotic sounding phrase come from her that's just like, target lost. And she sighs, and her weapon dissipates. And she gets up, and again, this is very devoid of like life in a sense. And she just starts trying to walk away.
I grab her arm.
She seems not to be able to put up a fight. Not that she didn't try a little bit, but she tried, realized what was going on with that, and then just gave up immediately.
I'm gonna have to ask that you join us back at Arkenton. We have some questions.
I have failed my mission.
Then it's safer for you not to go back, right?
As you were saying that, Fen, again, you hear this, and you are actually somewhat familiar with this. You hear a pop that comes from inside of her mouth, and she immediately starts foaming at the mouth, frothing both spittle and blood, and then she goes limp in Xavier's arm, or in Xavier's grip.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I run over and cast Cure Wounds.
I'm already touching her. I'll heal her as fast as possible.
I will use my poisoner's kit to come up with an antidote. For a 28.
I will say that both of the cure wounds seem to have minor effect. The poisoner's kit, as you basically take a swab and whatnot and rub it against her tongue to be able to get whatever the poison was off real quick, and try to come up with the cure, with the antidote, it doesn't seem to be a poison you're familiar with, let alone a poison that you've ever basically seen of this world. It's definitely a new poison that you've never interacted with before. So even with as good of a roll as you did, it still takes you longer than you would expect to be able to make an antidote right away for this. And she is, I guess, not really clinging to life because she doesn't really want to cling to life, but she is still alive purely through the diminished effect of the cure wounds at the moment.
Xavier, can't you cure poisons?
I think I.
You can.
5 points of lay
Oh
on hands.
yes, I'm gonna use 5 points of my lay on hands to try to neutralize the poison. I did forget about that aspect of it.
All right, Xavier, you neutralize the poison. As Fen comes up shortly after, going, here it is, and then looks at you, Xavier, and goes, and basically does whatever Fen wants to do in this moment.
You didn't start with that?
I don't interact with poison a lot. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm not
keep
around
this for
poisons
later.
that often.
I'm gonna pocket that one.
If she can do that 9 more times, I'll need you for the 9th one.
Just every tooth in her mouth is a false tooth. Just really overkill for no reason.
But assuming the poison knocked her unconscious but not dying,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a bit of a walk back.
yeah, we should probably bring her back and
I would
Get her
prefer to
looked
leave
at.
her unconscious because it does not seem like she is keen on staying alive currently.
Now that I can do. 30-20.
You are familiar with how to basically keep someone unconscious, and you easily make I forget what the name of them are.
Sedative.
Anesthesias. Yeah, sedatives. Sorry. Sedatives to basically keep her so.
How long would it take for us to get back if we were to walk?
You'll definitely be able to teleport again before you get back to Arkenton, if that's what you mean.
Right. Let's set up a camp a little bit away from here and just, I guess, chill until tomorrow morning. One of these times I'll remember to bring the chocobos. Still new.
Alright. You guys set up camp. Fen, are you being very liberal with your application of these sedatives, or like you don't want her waking up in the slightest at all, period? Or do you want to try to see how she gets along coming back into focus for any length of time?
Oh no. She stays sleepy time.
Chloroform. Fen just basically made chloroform. Nah. Nah, these it's actual just sedative. Alright. Outside of Fen's trance, who wants to be in charge of keeping her asleep for that period of time then?
I vote Liz.
There's gonna need to be 2 of you.
Damn it.
I can help.
I guess.
I mean, I could also just take a point of exhaustion.
I don't think that's necessary. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
And do you guys remember your watch order?
Liz was first.
Yeah.
Alright, first person, do your perception check.
I'll flash a genius that too, just in case. So
Just because you can?
because I'm gonna get a long rest after this, so I've got them to burn.
Just
So
because you can.
So
Yeah.
27.
That is why Flash of Genius is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Flash of Genius on top of a guaranteed dice roll. Little silly. Little silly, but I love it.
Seeing as Fen has explained how to sedate her, you do basically what the minimum required is to keep her sedated on the mark when she needs to be. Make sure that it's not too much to poison her or anything like that. And you are pretty much watching around the rest of camp too. And nothing seems to happen during your watch.
Okay.
It is Zeroji and Xavier's turn now.
What's your perception bonus, Savior?
+0.
Shit. Wait, why do we have the 2 lowest perception people going together?
Those were brothers.
Because you guys are brothers and wanted to do your watch together.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense. You should use your.
Yeah, I get 15.
Yeah. I get a 9. But we're not asleep this time.
All right. Xavier basically making sure that he doesn't fuck up on on his own sedation of Anna spends most of his time pretty much fussing over her. While Zeroji watches the camp, and nothing seems to go awry during your guys' watch either.
Nice.
Well, it's on me to fuck it up. Or I'm just gonna have good rolls for right now. 22.
Alright. Again, Fen, you obviously made the sedation, so you are basically a doctor at this point, and you know what's going on with that, so you don't over or under poison her.
Just the right amount of poison.
While keeping a good eye on the camp as well. However, during your watch, you could have swore that potentially something might have been out in the distance. It's all plains and not really even all that hilly, so basically from what you think you might have seen of it, it seems like it could have been a small animal, but otherwise nothing else out of the ordinary.
All right.
And then morning happens.
Did anything happen while I was asleep?
Oh yeah, she started sleepwalking and chanting some weird stuff, even though she was heavily sedated.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So are we gonna head back?
That's the reaction that deserves.
Yeah. That's like me saying it and then just having the biggest fucking shit-eating grin on my face. I don't know how it'll work with her, but we'll find out.
Well, I don't really like.
I actually have to search this.
Her sedated like this for too long, so the sooner we get back, the better.
Don't worry, there's only a minor risk of lifelong addiction.
Is there what's the number of people you can carry with you?
6 in total.
Okay.
Where are my notes? They're in here somewhere.
Does
I
that
forgot
include
to
your
have you
stuff?
roll me a D100 for that one. Whoops.
What?
Oh
What?
What?
For your teleport, I forgot to have you roll me a D100 for that one.
Oh.
Because your familiarity with that area is
Yeah, but I got a really good survival check.
I was going to put it at seen casually. Because he did see it casually. Through a looking glass. Which really should have been only viewed once, but your survival check did boost it.
Because it just acts as teleportation circle, right?
Just says teleport.
Oh, just as teleport. Oh yeah, why don't you look at that? Oh, up to 8 willing creatures.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
9 people total, since it says you and up to 8. Or 4 people and 4 chocobos, I guess.
Okay, so it says willing creatures. Is someone drugged up off their ass, unconscious, willing?
So in this case, it would be hard to know unless you attempt it.
Like, guys, I have no idea if this is gonna work or not.
On the off chance that it doesn't work, I can stay back and I can just ride my steed back to Arkenton. In case she is still here when you leave.
And if you can carry more than just the two of you, I could stay back and so you're not on your own.
Sure, how large the steed is.
You got. If she gets stuck here, it'd be you plus whomever else stays plus her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeroji should definitely go because.
Yeah. No. So Zeroji doesn't have a choice. Zeroji is willing to leave, whether he wants to be or not.
Will you be able to take care of yourself, Xavier?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then yes, Zeroji is willing to leave.
Only one way to find out, man.
Yeah, I mean, but is Liz staying back as well, or is it just you?
I think it can be just me as long as I have a couple extra doses of those sedatives. How long? I don't know how long it would take to get back to Arkansas on my horse from here.
DM.
Well, that horse travels faster than a normal horse.
Yes.
And I put the chocobo speed at normal horse speed, but I think that horse is what, 3 or 4 times, 5 times faster?
I don't know if it says.
It real fast.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything in the spell about how fast it is, but you did indicate that it was kind of fast as hell.
And if you think you'll be okay, I guess.
I will give him adequate dosages.
Apparently, it
For
mimics the
length of
stats
time.
of a warhorse, pony, camel, elk, or mastiff.
Probably Warhorse is what you'd want, but
That is the faster of them.
Yep.
maybe you want a pony.
Come on, you want the Mastiff.
Yeah, I love a dog steed.
Giant
Fantastic.
dog in battle. I'll give adequate dosages in the event that
He doesn't go.
she doesn't go. And then, well, let's see and try it.
You cast the teleportation, Xavier holding up Anna. And as you are casting the spell, right before you are about to become the golden blurs that you become during this, Xavier, you notice it first, primarily because you are holding her, and it's that she looks at you her eyes just open up immediately, and she says, "I don't want to die." Right before you become a golden blur and take off. Seeing as this is instant, when you guys land outside of Arkenton Castle, Xavier, you, with an understandably worried look on your face when she wakes up and says that, immediately look down at her. You see that she has a very clear entry and exit wound from her head that seems like it happened right before the teleport went off.
I knew I should use Sanctuary. God damn it! Is it healable?
The wound might close, but what life might be there is probably not there anymore.
We had diamonds.
How close
I
the
had
nearest
planned
cleric
on-
and diamond?
I know Liz said something. What'd you say, Liz?
I was just saying, if I had a diamond, I would have prepared Revivify, but we don't have diamonds.
Well, you run your asses into the castle and basically are shouting that you need a cleric and a diamond. Can't forget the diamond. And within pretty short order, you are brought before Mina again. She is not a cleric for sure, but she has a cleric to her side on standby, and informs, "I didn't think something like this would happen."
I'd
Anyways,
like it to
put her on the table.
Yeah,
We didn't do this.
I will pay for it myself.
And the cleric starts to get to work. I think it's considering the speed with all of this happening, I think it can just be Revivify.
Yeah, Revivify is within a minute.
Yeah.
How expensive is that diamond?
50 gold, I believe.
300, I think.
Is it?
Diamonds worth 300 GP, which the spell consumes.
Ah. Which one am I thinking then? I thought there was one worth 50.
No, it has to be the stronger version. That's not Revivify. It took more than a minute to do all the stuff you guys were doing.
Raise Dead. That one's 500, I think.
Yeah. No longer than 10 days, 500 GP.
All right. As the cleric identifies what level of raising of the dead that needs to happen, pulls out the appropriate diamond and gets to casting. It is a pretty tense hour as something new has come to light. Although you're not fully sure if Zerogia is still a target, you do know that obviously they did not want to leave someone behind that can inform you of anything.
I knew I was supposed to use. God damn it. Sanctuary. I failed.
Are you guys caring to discuss anything within this hour, or just waiting for the spell to cast?
I'm just gonna wait unless someone else is talking about something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
Same.
Sorry, I turned to my wife because I'm thirst. That works. I mean, a huge water jug it works. Oh, much better. The hour passes, and the spell is cast, and you're looking on as the cleric's face contorts into some consternation, and he says, I'm not sure if this is going to work.
I had to look up what consternation meant.
It's not that she doesn't want to return, it's just that it's quite difficult for... I don't get it. She's not a real soul. Well, I guess we attempt this. And he continues with the rest of the casting, basically finishing up the last bits of the spell. And it completes. And it takes another minute or so of tense. Basically, you're all almost holding your breaths at this point. The wound seals up, and the eyes open, and she sits up and goes and takes a deep breath and goes, I failed my mission. I failed even to die. And then, in probably the first signs of some form of life that you've seen in this person, for those of you that have been paying attention to it, she breaks down and starts bawling. At which point, Mina goes up close to her and basically cradles her in a hug close to her, and does the whole everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be fine. Some time of that passes, and while Anna is awake now, well, not awake, alive now, she is no longer awake as she basically cried herself back to sleep. But the worst of it is over. She is alive and seems to have returned. What would you guys like to do now?
Need to make sure that cleric doesn't need payment for that diamond if she's already asleep again.
Mina says, I've already seen to the cleric. This is a castle. We do have our funds for this, and I have to be honest, the cleric wasn't actually here for her. The cleric was here for most likely Zeroji.
Hey, give me some credit.
It
Uh-huh.
did take you
If-
a while
if she
to
was-
realize that you should make yourself invisible.
If she was any less nervous when she shot the first time, you wouldn't be here. Because there's no shot. I guess we could have gotten back within 10 days, but
I mean, could she have done 112 damage? Well, but how much did I have? 74. Could she have done 140 damage in one shot, do you think?
point blank, I'm sure. I guess I don't know if guns have fall off damage in this game. I don't think they do. If I remember correctly.
I feel like I would have
you.
been okay unless she did 140 damage in a turn, in which case, fuck.
I say it didn't go through a magic barrier this time, so I'm not sure it would have been different. Because you were pretty close to death last time.
This time I had full HP and temp hit points and piercing resistance.
You're assuming this is piercing damage. But it might be. What do I know?
Bullets are piercing.
Where did that other bullet come from? Who shot
I'm
her?
sure that it was a separate assassin.
Of course there's multiple assassins. Why wouldn't King D'Arc do something stupid like that?
I'm sure that guy has contingencies for his contingencies.
Strange that the contingency didn't attack us.
That wasn't his job. It sounds like they're very task oriented.
anyways, Anna needs to sleep for now. I will send someone to get you when she wakes up. I will also... I don't need to sedate her like someone here has. It seems like she had a lot of drugs running through her body before the cleric got to her.
Yeah,
In my
before
defense,
we,
she tried to kill herself.
she did have a false tooth.
I didn't say that it was all the sedation drugs. The other drugs were still running rampant in her body. Even with the poison removed, it probably wasn't a pleasant experience for her. Regardless of that, I will keep her under watch. Delis has arrived. He's currently in one of my waiting rooms off to the northern part of the castle. I will have someone take you to him if you want to meet with him now, or if you would rather visit later and wait for Anna to wake up. You are welcome to do what you want until then.
She's asleep for now. I think we might as well meet with him.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow with.
She waves a nearby attendant to come get you guys and take you over to Delis then. And the attendant does do so. You get led through the castle fairways, this time taking a more direct path, not taking any of the entryway portal rooms. And you see, when you enter this meeting room, you see Delis at the end of a table, basically with a leg propped up on one of his knees, a book in one hand, and a nice cup of some dark substance. And it's like a teacup, but you're not sure if it's actually tea in that cup, in his other hand. And he looks up from his reading and goes, "Ah, these must be the guests. Well, I'm the guest. You must be the ones meant to meet me." Wait, have I seen you before?
We did recently make an appearance at the Swords of the Rift.
Ah, you must be who I've seen as I was looking up for my work. Ah, that's neither here nor there. What can I help you with?
We would like access to use the portal whenever it's set up without joining the Swords of the Rift.
That's easily done, if it activates for you.
If it activates, what would prevent it from doing so?
The need of the individual. Depends on if it's great enough.
Interesting.
So it depends on our need for teleporting?
Oh, no, not your need. The need of the individual on the other side. We're looking to set up extending our reach, so to speak. We're setting up another rift base here in Arkenton with the help of the shadows. So, while the portal won't refuse someone going through it to help anyone on the other side of it, I can't really tell you where that portal would go.
So this isn't a portal between Riftfell and Arkenton?
Oh, was that what you were led to believe?
Yes.
No. We could just teleport ourselves between here and there. Why would we need to set up a circle for that?
Cat, I will suplex you.
I don't see what my cat has to do with this conversation.
Not your cat, my cat.
I also didn't bring my cat along, so I didn't know that you knew I had a cat.
Well, we just extracted that information from you. Quit sassing me.
Touché, sir. Touché. What might your names be? My name is Delis.
Liz?
I'm Xavier.
Tsuroji.
Renus.
All right. Well, to the four of you, I'm sorry I couldn't help you further with that teleportation bit. However, if you're wanting to set up a device for teleportation like that, I'm pretty sure I could set up a direct connection between Arkenton and Riffel. That does have some negative connotations for the city, though. Both cities involved, actually.
Why is that?
You see, while we are currently with while Riffel and Arkenton are currently in good standing with each other, I'm sure you can see the repercussions of a portal that leads directly between both cities.
In the event of invasion of one, the other one becomes at risk.
Or if they were to become opposing forces for any reason.
This is why the portal that I am setting up is activated based on the need of the individual.
Very interesting concept.
Must have been a very
I
smart
might
person
have
that came up with
skirted
that.
might have skirted a couple inherent laws of magic for that, but it seems to work just fine with given the right devices, the right materials. I have components literally right in front of me, and I couldn't think of the word for components. God damn it. So, I'm pretty sure there would be a much larger conversation to set up a portal between Riftfell and Arkenton, and I'm sure if Mina had assumed that it would be a portal of that like, then Beniaro must have told her something that I am not aware of.
I think that's just the assumption we made off of what was told to us.
Maybe this can help you out. He pulls something out of one of his mage robe pockets and tosses it. We'll say at Liz. You seem like the most level-headed of the group. Liz, you immediately recognize this device. As you catch it in the air, it looks like kind of like a key fob to a modern-day vehicle. However, you recognize this as a device that opened the portal that summoned that monstrosity of a vehicle that crashed you into a wall.
And holding it at arm's length is like, and how does this work?
Well, you said you wanted portals. What better than portals? Literally to anywhere.
I'm sorry, is this the thing that he
Yeah.
got from Larweln?
Yes, I will need it before, I leave to go back to Riftfell, but until then you are free to use it.
Incredibly dangerous. Just as an
I'm
object.
sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Have you done any tests on it?
Yes. It's fine.
And how does it work?
Well, the top button opens a portal to a different plane of existence. The second to the top button opens a portal to somewhere you are familiar with. The second from the bottom button opens a portal to... Just don't press that button. And the bottom button doesn't seem to do anything. At least we haven't found any use for it yet.
And are the other buttons random, or do they...
No, there's just 4 buttons.
No, I mean, when you press it, like you said, one was to a place that I'm familiar with. Is it a random place I'm familiar with, or am I able to determine which?
Debatable. we've had mixed results.
So it's random.
Yes and no.
So basically, you want me to test this for you while you're working on this.
Precisely.
Yeah, run an adventure.
But since you didn't sign the contract that I'm aware of, just don't die.
Why does that matter if we signed a contract?
As opposed to if we had signed the contract.
Well, something about liability. I don't want to get in trouble with Beniaro.
Okay. Do not give Zeroji the don't give Zeroji the item, whatever we're calling this. He will. The first thing he's gonna do is press the third button, and I don't want to find out.
I'm actually more interested in the fourth button.
I also am interested in the fourth button.
Well, I'm
I
very
don't trust
interested
you to
in the
not
third
press
button.
the third button.
He said not to touch the third button, and I have a low health pool.
I'm trying to figure out how I can
do something stop you.
Throw something and hit the button.
I could mage hand and press the button.
Could I try and cast Identify on it just to see if it gives me anything more?
You spend the time, everyone kind of watches you awkwardly as you cast Identify on it, and at the finishing of the spell, you get the words come up that just says, error.
Just error?
Just error.
Liz,
That's normal.
That's all that appears in your head.
Liz has a very confused look on her face. That's...
I love that one group fully embraces the craziness of the Source of the Rift, and the other group is like, this is the most what the fuck shit in this world. What are we doing with this guy?
Yeah, the other group can't die. That's the thing.
They can. They just come back.
They don't stay dead, I guess.
Yeah, but even when the other group was still capable of dying for however brief a period, it was still one of those things where it was like,
You only live once. Until you don't.
I love that everything the Source of the Rift does is a very big clash against Fenn's, like, being as a person.
I ain't signed no goddamn contract.
I guess if we're gonna test this, we probably shouldn't do that inside. We should probably do this outside somewhere with a lot of room.
See, you're using that "we" word a lot.
Because I'm not gonna test this on my own in case if something bad happens.
So do we give it to Zeroji?
Then we're just asking for something bad to happen.
I don't really care which one of you tests it or has fun with it. Just, that's about the most I can offer you for help now that you know the actual goals of my design here right now. Which is probably something Kit is kind of happy about, because he's wanted the Swords of the Rift to expand. You want to know what the base is going to be called down in Arkenton?
Kind of curious.
Shadows of the Ark. Got to keep with the theme, man.
Oh, if anybody wants to come and make sure I don't hurt myself, well, you can go and test this thing outside.
I think you would have 3 eager followers, but they all keep their distance from you.
Yeah. I want to see what happens.
I actually want to ask Dallas about something. Involving them having scryed King Dark previously. Or I guess he scryed Aether, didn't we?
King D'Arc was in the room, so he would have known that he was being scryed.
But he wasn't being scryed, is the thing. So would he have known?
Are you asking Dallas or are you asking Zeroji?
Let's see.
I would like to explain the situation with what happened whenever we tried to scry Dark.
Dark would have known. A creature that can see invisible objects sees the sensor as luminous orbs about the size of your fist.
We don't know how he knew you did it. So
that's because Milo's scrying works on a different level, so to speak. He's mostly psionic himself. I can't really say who's more powerful between the two either. That'd be a good question to answer someday. I doubt Milo cares to answer that though. Doesn't really seem like Milo's type of thing to do.
I guess getting that clarification of the distinction between the scries, that's mostly what I was curious about. And if he had any interest in like knowing more about the gun that was used to shoot through a magic barrier and my brother.
If you explained any of the basic principle of the gun, then he would have just said, "That sounds like something I can't do."
Would you have any idea how to create any kind of protection from something like that?
Well, if it was able to shoot through the barrier of Arkenton. No, I don't. I have nothing.
Alright, note to self. Don't piss off Dark, who has assassins that can have bullets that have no sort of protection from. Literally just like unpreventable assassinations. Perfect.
King Dark's a powerful psionic. Could it be that his assassins are as well?
There's something about his assassins that's weird. If you remember the cleric saying that the girl did not have a normal soul.
This perks up Dallas's interest. What'd you say?
If it's from Endress, it could have been a manufactured soul, maybe.
Explain. What happened?
We will relate to them what we know.
Basically, in the short of it, a girl got shot using one of those psionic guns. We brought her back, and she was revived using a raised dead spell. The cleric made a note. I can't remember exactly what he said, like off the top of my head, but something along the lines of her soul wasn't correct, or there's something wrong with her soul when trying to bring her back.
Dallas's book is turned to basically the cover, but the cover is open and he is just writing furiously on the inside of the cover of the book now, taking notes on everything you're telling him.
I have absolutely zero qualms giving this guy more information, as in Xavier's brain, whether they like it or not, it seems like the Swords of the Rift is the only thing that's gonna any kind of embodiment that will actually stand a chance against what Endress is.
Fen
So
and, well, I guess in this case, Rennis and Liz, you both hear another mumble of a sort that basically comes out to, is this part of what could help me figure out Nim?
What's a
And he
nim?
just keeps. You didn't hear it. He just keeps
Yeah.
writing furiously as you guys are telling him more about the story.
Who's that?
Who's who?
Nim that you just said.
Ah, he's part of the Swords of the Rift. Nim the. What number is he on right now? I don't know.
Oh, the.
He might be on. Oh, he might have. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, I think this might be Nim the 10th right now. I really couldn't say for sure.
The. That mechanical being that was there when we visited?
Yes.
Hmm.
Pay Nim no mind. It's fine. What would you guys like to do?
I think we're gonna go play with portals.
Now you're all following Liz outside to play with portals.
I just wanted to pick his brain on that to see if there's anything that the resources that he has at his disposal could think of as a protective barrier from whatever the fuck is going on.
All right. As you guys make your way outside and Liz thinks carefully on what button to press.
Third one.
You make it to basically outside your own castle grounds now. Probably the safest place you can be to not potentially injure someone else, you think. You're not really sure depending on how close your friends are, but at this point it's not like you can really tell what this device will do anyways, so what button would you like to press?
I'll point it away from everybody and press the second one.
The second one?
Yes.
You see the portal open up, and you see a giant, fat, freaking chocobo that's not facing you just go, and then turn around, noticing a presence, and starts to turn around anyways to look at you. As you are looking through the portal right now. Do you keep the portal open, or what do you do?
Turn it off.
It's not the red one though.
That's true.
I'll go ahead and turn it off.
Wait, was that the one that came up to us that one night?
Wasn't that the one that dropped that egg that had all the
Yeah.
stuff in it?
I'm trying to remember if that, because if so, leave it on.
But I already turned it off because you told me to turn it off.
Turn it back on? Think of Chocobo?
I'll press it again, trying to think of the chocobo.
You press it again, and you see a crystalline cave, and you hear a rumbling as the cave begins to shake. And then, in the distance of the crystalline cave, you see a really large head lift from the ground and go, "What are you doing back here?" As you are looking at an ancient gem dragon.
We thought we'd just check in on you, see how you were doing.
Nothing to Bahamut yet.
Just
That
experimenting with
voice. Did I just hear the inheritor of the wings?
Maybe. It was definitely Liz.
Fensandoral Othronus. Approach.
Sounds like we're going to the portal.
You don't feel compelled or anything to do so you can refuse if you want.
I mean, he was a cool dude last time.
I'll be able to
He's
give you
aight.
some more information about the wings too.
That, would be helpful.
It was pretty cool last time.
Yeah, let's go see the Lord
Yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah, let's. I'll start going.
The Lord Dragon.
He's in my notes as Lord Dragon.
I know. It's just funny.
Out here name dropping me and shit.
And I have your name on this piece of paper, so it's not like it's new information.
Yeah, that's also a hit list.
Well,
I mean, we don't know that for sure.
it's a hit list. It's definitely a hit list.
If it's a hit list, who's getting paid?
Well,
That's what I'm
whoever
trying to
chose
find
me.
out.
All enter through the portal.
Sure.
yeah,
Am I on that hit list now?
well, I will.
I wonder if Miser actually sent me another list of names.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
Can't remember if you said you were looking into it to like make the list again.
I
or
know
not.
I said I was looking into it, and I definitely meant to look into it, but that was definitely I've slept since then, and a very heavy didn't think about it again type of
Yep.
deal.
That's perfectly fair. For all I know,
He's-
it's not a natural list and it just changes over time.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
All right, you all enter the portal. Liz, do you maintain the portal or do you close it?
I maintain it because I don't know if it'll open back up to where we were if I close it.
I mean, worst case scenario, we always have the wings to get back.
What order do you enter the portal in?
This
I
would
mean,
go
I
last just in case.
I- probably was gonna move first.
I'll go second.
I'll go third.
All right. It's good that you said that, because if at any point Liz said she does not maintain the portal, or if Liz went in at any point that was before the rest of you, it would have closed, as indeed it does close as soon as she enters and just the slightest bit of her foot clears the portal.
It would have been really funny if I was the one gonna be last.
Yep.
Just shit. Well, y'all have fun out there tonight. Go
See you
rest.
there. See you there tomorrow.
I guess I should have stayed on the other side.
Well,
Learning.
we'll find our way back.
We'll get back eventually.
If not today, tomorrow. Think.
Yeah, you already used it today.
Fensandoral. I must congratulate you on inheriting the wings, for they were inherited naturally instead of being stolen. It is a bit of a shock that one such as you has inherited the wings.
You're
So
telling
I
me.
offer you a choice.
Uh-oh.
This is not to call your character into question. This is just something to be based on what is going on in this world. Your choice. Would you care to give up the wings, or would you care to become the next avatar of Bahamut, and indeed become the vessel that will then become Bahamut.
I'm gonna be real honest. That's an easy one for me. Gonna keep the wings.
This is knowing what you will then become in the future. I cannot say one way or the other whether your principles or Bahamut's will override each other, or if they might mesh.
Yeah, but the other option doesn't leave me a lot of control over my factories.
What?
Or did I misunderstand?
Either you give up the wings or you eventually become Bahamut, I think, is the idea.
Oh, I got that wrong.
Those are the option.
Yeah, it's give up the wings or eventually become Bahamut. Maybe. Again, with the added explanation of not knowing who's basically going to be in control when you do officially become Bahamut in full, type of deal. To explain further, these wings were housing the mechanism for rebirth of the god Bahamut. I was their guard until they were stolen by Aether. You have inherited them from Aether. That is why this choice is an important one. I can remove the wings, however. That would mean that Bahamut will no longer be reborn into this world.
Ever, or just for a time?
I cannot say.
What if the wings were passed to someone else?
Gonna hazard that would require your death.
Well, you died earlier. You're still
all the way
here.
die.
Okay.
I was only mostly dead.
I will
The
say
child
that
sniper died and is back. But
the person who has stolen the wings initially used some form of device to wrest the power from them and gain their control. While this person had gained their control, this person had not inherited any of the power of Bahamut naturally. Therefore, it was not a perfect fuse. However, in Fent and Doral's case, it is indeed a full inheritance. Now I can remove this inheritance, or we can see how this plays out and see whose personality eventually comes to light at the end of the tunnel. Get it? Because I live in a cave, so I only really see the light at the end of the tunnel when someone opens it up there.
speaking of, do you want us to crack the window?
You know, I farted like a month ago and it still lingers.
Oh, that's
No
what
one
that
ever
smell is.
No one ever thinks about this, but do you know how many times I have to cast prestidigitation in this area? Because dragon shit does not clean itself, and it is large.
I will have to admit, I've never once thought about a dragon's biological functions.
Savior to crack the window. There's Zeroji, sorry. My brain is not working today.
Oh, I can totally see V just naming this something completely different from the entire story now.
Fireball would clear up any remaining gas.
Oh, and us too.
I mean, you guys have fire resistance.
Would rather not test that.
Everyone in the party has fire resistance. Can't wait to never go against any fire enemies ever again.
I don't plan my combats like that, honestly.
How long until expect to feel or notice a change if I keep the wings?
Considering the goings-ons in the world as of now, it could be moments, it could be months, it could be years. As vague as an answer as this is the best I can give considering the speed of events happening and unfolding.
Really need a higher will save, I think. Or wisdom save.
I didn't roll my portents today.
Imagine if that was a 1, though.
Wow. That is very different spectrums.
2 and a natural 20.
I mean, the wings have been very, very useful in the recent months.
I do have a theory based on these wings. It goes, or coincides at least, with the potential for rebirth. While I have been guarding them for Bahamut's rebirth, as you know, I am not of the metallic dragon kind. That is because the metallic dragons are no longer on this continent and have been since separated from us. I am currently the only non-brood ancient dragon on this continent. Lending to that, the reason why I think this could be a do or die for Bahamut's rebirth is because if you are no longer the vessel, with everything that the brood is attempting to do in their own little war, you could be the first god reborn back into the world, or the brood will inevitably take back, or not take back, but take the world as their own and rule as its new gods anyways. Basically, you would be a herald for the rule of a new god, or of the new gods, so to speak. And were you to give up those wings, I feel like, and again, theory, this could just lead to the brood becoming the true gods. Kit going in his head. Yep, Lord Dragon.
Okay, so hear me out. Xavier, I need you to kill me.
I should inform you that once the wings have been inherited by one, they cannot be inherited again.
Never mind. Don't go with that plan.
Hence, part of my theory.
What would having had them removed entail?
That the power of Bahamut inevitably dies.
Oh no, I meant how would they be removed from Fen? Because if they can't be transferred, I don't know how they would be smoothly and or easily removed from Fen himself.
I would use my gem magic as a dragon to be able to remove them. I am quite ancient myself and hold quite a fair amount of power. It would not be the easiest for me to do so, but I can remove the artifact from Fen's back.
Oh, this one's up to you, Fen.
Is this the only object around that would create a new god? Or
The
rebirth a god?
gods are going through many different forms of rebirth as we speak.
And if one wanted to be absolutely sure they were avoiding becoming a god, where would they not look?
Okay, Miser is confused by this. I didn't piece that together in my head well enough. What?
Where would you look if you want to become a god? Or, as he would phrase it, what should I avoid if I don't want to become a god?
Those disgusting sites that they post porn on. What was it called?
Mhm.
I do not feel as if you would be a fit for that.
Yeah.
Not because of any lack of potential, but because your floating either is giving you quite the evil eye as you said that.
I'm investigating that later. That was on my notes of things I wanted to do, but we got a bit overshadowed by a different
Getting
step.
shot? Yeah.
You know.
Kind of puts a damper in the plans.
I
Noted.
I think I'm gonna go with the fuck around and find out and keep them.
Zeroji is actually going to start taking notes on you. He is intrigued.
Let's say that.
Unbeknownst to Zeroji, because Fen has never been caught doing it yet. Fen already has notes on all of you.
Yeah, detailed, very detailed.
Let's say there was a faction of more powerful than godly creatures around that may want to prevent the gods from returning, such as Bahamut.
You are referencing the Brood.
Yeah.
You can say the Brood.
I know.
I am aware of them. I've been around a long
You've
time.
actually mentioned them in this conversation already. I kind of
Yes.
figured you knew about them. Is that going to put a target on our backs?
I think it's a large one, specifically on mine.
And
That
are they going to potentially be trying to go after similar artifacts that would hold similar powers? So it's basically Zeroji's question, but differently phrased.
Different intent.
That is also important.
Your party is a confusing one. Currently, the only one among you without a. And this is weird to say, considering you are an Asamar, but the only one among you without a spark of godhood, or broodhood as it were right now, is you, Xavier.
Pardon?
Interesting, given that I'm currently being powered by one, but
Yes, that is how you channel your spells, but that is not inherently a power within you.
understandable.
Liz, what have you been up to recently?
pretty sure you saw what this armor did.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was the armor.
Interesting.
I mean, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe nothing's happened to me yet. Maybe it's just not meant to be. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that.
I was not looking for excuses as to why you do not have a spark.
Oh. But it did seem as though, I don't know, the question wasn't directly being answered.
That is to say, your party will be a confusing one to any involved with it.
We'll get you a
At
spark,
least
Xavier.
among the higher powers.
I don't like the implications of us getting me a spark. Especially given how Finn had to receive his.
I mean, presumably Liz created hers.
I mean, mine was pretty easy. All I had to do was kill a guy.
I'm not a creator. I don't want to go down as just a killer. And I have no idea what's going on with your eyeball over there, but
It dropped from a slime back in the shadow place.
I'm sure it's that straightforward. I'm sure there's no other shenanigans involved.
That is it.
I believe the
That's all he's
cat's
got in his notes. So that is it. That is all he cares about.
No, there were no people killed as a
Mhm.
result of my direct actions.
I will say, and this is not entirely in Kit's defense, but even when I said the story, he actually has or should have the written story of the eye as well, and he confused the written story of the eye for something else entirely too. So
Yeah. It does seem like in all of these cases, godhood is not found intentionally. So I feel like trying to do that is going to cause problems.
We solve problems.
We don't only solve problems,
I mean,
unfortunately.
sometimes we make problems, but we solve those problems too. Through accident or design.
The time being, I'd like to focus on solving problems and not making them. So I'm not going to really be a big fan of us trying to find me a spark of godhood, especially with the implications that I might not be myself after it's done.
That might just be his godhood.
I don't think any of us really looked for it. I know I didn't. It just happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of us have done it yet. If we do that for me, it's gonna be bad. I have to assume.
oh, he's the stinky Lord Dragon now. That's what it is, right, Kit?
Only until Fireball.
Or just crack the window. You can fly up there. Just pop the hatch. It'll be fine.
Can Mage Hand open a hatch?
Well, okay, you can. I can't.
Zeroji? Physical labor? What the fuck are you on about?
Gonna try and shoot arrows at the door until it opens.
It just gets heavier and heavier with the ever-changing arrows.
Eventually, it just caves in.
Oh gods, he's our Lord Dragons. He's godhood. 3 of us. What could possibly go wrong?
Why is that a note? Why does that need to be said?
He's intentionally trying to stir up stuff.
That's just for your own humor.
Yeah.
Save your godhood.
We don't need to try and find Xavier Godhood.
Do you want to find your manhood instead?
I know you're making light of this, but I am putting my foot down. We're not going out of our way to find me godhood.
Alright. We won't involve you in a search for your godhood.
If he doesn't want to search for it, I don't think we should.
Well, sometimes he just falls into it.
And I did.
Sometimes you fall after a little push.
I think we have
The biggest
more
problem with
important
me,
things
with
to
us
get
trying
worry
to
about.
find me godhood, is us firmly cementing ourselves onto one side of this line that we still don't know enough information about.
Well, I think this basically firmly sets us on a side now.
I think
Lord
it
Dragon,
simply
which
goes
side?
nearly
Which
50-50.
hang on. Which side was Lord Dragon on?
I mean, he's trying to. He has hopes of resurrecting Bahamut.
Okay, so
I would assume.
I like the Lord Dragon. I think we should side with the Lord Dragon here. Not
I
saying
just
that just out of.
owed Bahamut a favor. I take neither side. I am neutral in this endeavor.
I figured that's where you would have been, but given you were protecting it, the fact that you owe him a favor makes more sense. Yeah, I also side with the Lord Dragon. I would love to be neutral, but I feel like we don't have a choice.
And I think now that we have a potential Bahamut out of Fen, I think we'll be switching sides on who we technically were on the side of, even though we really didn't choose.
It depends on which point we've been interacting with the Brood, because we've had
We're still
talks with
fulfilling
both.
his objective by getting stronger. I'd say achieving godhood is getting stronger.
Not to mention, 2 of you currently have broodhood and not godhood. That could set you on a different side as it is.
Now I'm confused.
Wait, what?
Liz and Zeroji, both of you have a spark of the brood, not a spark of any god.
So when you said that 3 of us had sparks of godhood, you weren't specifically saying the gods, you were including the broods in that statement.
Correct.
Intriguing. Are you able to tell which brood?
I am not. I only know of Bahamut because it is obviously an artifact of Bahamut.
I now have less of a desire to find a spark of godhood, especially if it puts us on an even playing field and the 2 of us become opposing forces.
I mean, or we just like make peace. 2 gods, 2 broods. It's like even.
I love how adorable it is that you think that we're going to have control over the forces that are that you're currently being used for this. It's so innocent.
What could possibly go wrong?
We haven't had
Nothing
much
at all.
control in this at all yet.
I like the optimism though. And the resolution you're looking at. It is promising, given some of your other tendencies.
At some point, I'm sure we're gonna have to firmly pick a side, but we need to find out more before we do so.
Unless you have any other parting wisdom for us, I think
You know what's up with the weird manufactured soul people of Endress?
I have never heard of any manufactured souls.
Unfortunate.
It scares me to think, though, if souls can be manufactured. Souls were an issue in a past turn of this world. This is why we have the brood here as it is. If souls can now be manufactured, I shudder to think what might happen if a certain individual figures out the method to do so.
Are you talking about the Hark?
Oh no, it being much more scary than King D'Arc.
So one of the brood, probably.
No.
So there's a non-brood that's scarier than the Ark.
Correct.
There's so much that we don't know. It's absurd.
We're fucked.
We're supposed to choose a side? This is ridiculous.
I want to go with the non-brood scarier than D'Arc.
You want to side with them?
They seem to be the strongest at the moment.
I don't want to pick someone based on how strong they are.
We were actually told about this at the beginning. That's why we were supposed to be getting stronger, is to fight that other party that has 2 who's has
About Legion?
Legion.
Is he talking about Legion?
It sounds like it.
Legion is the name. Yes, I recall that name. That is the being I am talking about.
Okay. Well then, never mind. I assumed that Legion was basically at this point just part of the brood. But I understand they are separate.
Legion.
Wait, you know about the brood? What was the
is...
name? What was the brood name that Aether dropped on us?
T-pose.
Tipo?
Yeah.
It sounds like Tipo might be in league with Dark. If Dark isn't just Tipo.
And Aether was telling the truth.
I think Aether was telling us what he knew to be true. Whether or not it was the actual truth is different.
Before we venture too far away from the topic at hand, Legion is not a part of the brood. I imagine Legion is also operating at hardly any power as of this moment, but that is something that changes the more time goes on. She will gradually just increase in her own power as she is left untethered to roam this world.
Man, I just love how every time we get more pertinent information about what's going on in the world, the more we learn that the fact that we lost an entire year just kind of fucked us over.
I will say that the current host of Legion does their best to try to refrain from the indiscriminate destruction that Legion can cause. However, I do not believe that that host will always be in control. As for the previous holder of the wings, I am unaware of this Tipo individual of the brood. However, I do not doubt that it could have been something either from Endress or something given to this person from the brood that was what unlocked the power of Bahamut's wings. Given either of these, it will be hard to say for sure which direction this could go. I do not have all the answers in this category, so to speak.
Even if you don't have all the answers, you've still been incredibly helpful.
The dragon gives I would say a slight nod, but it's from an ancient dragon, so it's kind of like a large nod, but, slight for a dragon.
Yeah.
Fencendoral Othranus. I would say uphold the tenets of Bahamut, but I have seen your character. And for all we know, this could be a different Bahamut entirely. Do your best not to die or lose the wings before the awakening.
Well, thankfully everybody seems to go after Zeroji, so I should be okay.
My body hurts a lot.
Frequently and a lot.
Frequently and a lot.
Wow.
The dragon just kind of looks at you guys.
What are you gonna do now that you're not watching over Bahamut's resurrection?
Parlencia is nice
suppose
this time of year.
I cannot cross over to Parlencia. I suppose I will eventually just go for a flight. However, that will cause the Temple of Bahamut to crumble, since I am directly below its entire structure. I do not think that you guys want to be here when I do that.
Probably not.
You could requisition a tunnel.
I think part of his power also holds up the temple, if I recall.
Zeroji is correct.
You're right.
Guess we should get going then.
The last caretaker of this temple was not the best.
Well, from I think what we've seen, you've done very well.
He gives another slight nod. Wait. And I try to get comfy in my chair.
I thought it was funnier when the dragon made that sound while he was nodding.
Guess I could try and see if this thing will take us back.
I'm pressing the fourth button.
I was
Maybe-
about to say.
Maybe that's a recall.
Yeah, go for the fourth button. Oh, we could ask the dragon if he knows what any of the buttons do.
Oh, I'm gonna have doubts.
Excuse me, Lord Dragon.
What?
We got this device with 4 buttons on it. The second one brought us here and also brings us... Or, I'm sorry, the first one brought us here.
Second one brought us
Second
here.
one, sorry. Second one brought us here. Are you familiar with this object?
I would like to back up a moment. Did you just call me a Lord Dragon?
It's a very distinguishing title.
Barring any distinguishing titles, I have no clue what this device is.
That is unfortunate. But thank you.
I get that Kit's personality will bleed into his characters, but what the fuck, man?
Did he ever give us a name?
Honestly, at this point, I don't actually recall if I gave a name.
I was actually taking better notes back then. Let me go check.
Would be on like, fuck.
It's not. My notes aren't dated.
I'm assuming it's on the Trail of Aether, the Ruins chapter. I'm assuming is where that would have been.
I just have Ancient Crystal Dragon.
I don't
then
think he ever
later-
gave a name.
Lord
I do have
Dragon.
a note that says Ice Mephits be bitches. Don't know why I put that down.
The Lord Dragon is related to Tiamat.
Ancient Gargantuan Crystal Dragon.
And there's a major ancient dragon in every major city. One in
That'll be the rest of the
Rafal's
gem dragons.
structure floating in the air south of Rafal. Huh.
You never know what Kit's gonna take as notes.
Well, we can.
I mean, unless it's like snakes banging, yo.
All the animals fuck. You know,
Unless they're hyenas, they just get fucking fireball.
yeah, they don't get a chance to fuck.
They're just resting. So that could have been the rest after the fucking.
True.
I do like these notes. Just
He
all
takes us back to
caps.
fucking.
All also this.
I distinctly remember I was 1 HP away from not being alive anymore thanks to that bone devil.
It was real rough.
What are your notes? Do you even know what that is for?
Yeah,
I know
Viva
who
Liberation.
Anadrith is.
Yeah, that was we were going through the sewers and they started the liberation and the dude's like Viva Liberation and I think it was Liz asked liberation from what? It was either Liz or it was Fen and they had no response other than fuck you.
Why is that memorable to you to take a note on it?
It's important.
Oh yeah, when the bone devil died, he became some kind of fucking bone king asshole that was gonna destroy us, except the dragon statue saved us. I do
He's
have
one
the
of the other
exact
gem dragons
quote.
at this point.
I do have an exact quote that says, "And then as agreed, the brood will have its army." And that actually scares me more now that we're not exactly on the brood's side.
I mean, we were told to get stronger. That doesn't mean we're not on the brood side.
Well, there are broods on both sides, and that's the problem. I don't know whose side the bone devil is on.
Man, if you guys actually go back through the lore.
I don't like that. Oh yeah, we had ender pearls. I forgot about that.
And it broke. Well,
Dragon's still just kind of staring at you guys.
Oh, the
you could
memories.
Try this fourth button. If it is a recall, might need to hold on just in case if it just doesn't open a portal and just warps us back.
Yep, just don't grab my tail.
Are you sensitive there or something?
No, it's considered rude.
I put my hand on his face.
Unironically better.
I like how for Andrith you have your spelling and then in parentheses Miser's spelling.
That's how all my spellings are.
Well, yeah.
All right, Liz, are you making sure that everyone is connected so that you can hit the button?
Yep.
You press the fourth button, and all four of your visions consecutively, one after the other, until Liz is the last one to wink out, your visions go black. We'll call the game there for the day.
Cool. Well, the button works, everybody.
We hope.
Dallas is gonna be happy to hear that.
Or we just passed out.
Or we just all died.
The
Best
button
option
did
is that the
something.
Lord Dragon is just fucking with us.
Yeah. Like, I see it as like hit the button, we all just collapse. Lord Dragon's like, what? Poke, poke, poke. Hey, go away. Poke, 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 poke. God damn it! I gotta deal with dead bodies too.
Now it's really gonna stink in here. What the fuck?
He would eat us, 100%.
Or just prestidigitate us out.
Just let it be known, Liz did this because of everyone's decision to press that button. It is not
Yeah.
entirely Liz's fault.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
that was my idea. I'm the first one to say something. I'll take any blame that happens here.
Press the fourth button.
I don't know if you know, but I'm a
Vision
god.
go black.
Not yet.
Not yet, you're not.
What is a god to a brood?
You're
I don't
currently
know.
the vase for a god.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
Or is the god a vase for him?
I just like
No,
that
he's a vase for
of
the
all the gods that Fence and Doral could have become the vessel for, it was Bahamut.
It is drastically the wrong direction. Ah, yes, the one of justice. I steal shit for a living.
Maybe it's its own form of justice.
Yes.
I mean, you only steal from the wealthy, right? right?
Pretty much, yeah.
No.
Well,
That
except for
guy
that one
that
guy
you
in the
stole all
bar.
the clothes off of was not wealthy.
I mean,
But
he had
it's
it
not-
coming though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I mostly steal from the rich that have far too much than what they need, and then that guy. But
That's that guy.
I only stole his clothes and his coin purse. He'll be fine. Be back on his feet in no time.
I will say, any of the other buttons would have continued the game today.
Yet
Perfect.
that's not great.
Well, now I want to know what the third button would have done.
I also want to know what the third button would have done. I don't want to press it because I still don't want to press it.
Look, we'll
And
just
I
press
can't
it when
say
we're near a
anymore because you
cleric.
already pressed the fourth one.
Unfortunately, my curiosity is not strong enough to potentially kill the entire party.
Oh, my curiosity is absolutely strong enough to press that
Yeah,
button.
I
In a
know.
controlled environment.
There are no controlled environments for the complete unknown.
I think near an ancient dragon is pretty controlled.
No.
Man, how have you guys gone 2 games without combat? What the fuck is this?
Because
Oh.
we have a soft spot for saving women.
Well, combat
Totally
happened,
even
we just
lined
were
up
not...
you guys to fight Anna. I actually have to admit, if I think it was it Reapers or V's roll there that was like a 28 on the perception for that?
Oh, I had a natural 20 on it.
Oh yeah, okay, because that was legitimately a DC 22.
Yeah, I got a 29, so barely made that. I mean, I also was planning on just dumping paralytic poison into her body until she stopped trying to kill people.
Look, we aren't complete murder hobos.
Says the guy who fireballs hyenas.
Hey, I have yet to fireball my own party.